Hey guys, welcome to part 4 of the Canva graphic diagramming tool series. In this one I want to get a little bit more, we just continue to build the project. And in this one, let's build the arrow. So what it does is this. Okay, there's a bug that just ran, but supposedly we can drop the arrow. It's going to get the current mouse position, and then when we drag it, it's going to move around, and then when we click it, now we settle the arrow, and it looks like what it looks like. And this arrow is draggable, but yeah, it is not rotatable, whatever. So let's do this. But actually, going back to when I said rotatable, I believe that in the project that this right now is my own project, but in the one that I'm doing in the video series, I believe I have not added on the transformer, but I will do so in the next video. And yeah, so transformer is this like blue highlighted anchor boxes that we can drag around to change different properties. And for the arrow, I did not do so. So anyways, let's get out of my project and let's go to our project. So I'm done with the thing, but I'm recording this part another day, right? It's 6:14 a.m. of the 16th. But anyways, let's get to work. So therefore I kind of forgot what are the new edits I made. But I suppose that I didn't have this whole arrow thing. And I suppose I didn't have this on mouse move thing, so I'm gonna delete this part. Okay. And I didn't have this state thing. So therefore those are the things that we will be making. This goes to here. See, no more. Okay. So if I save this right now, perhaps, yeah, it's not even draggable because I didn't make two arrows and one of them draggable. So let's do that right now. Again, copy and paste the same thing. I did something wrong for sure. Okay. So points, still the same thing, that's fine. And then there's definitely a draggable. Oh god, I'm in a different draggable. And there's gotta be an event that triggers at the end of drag, and there's a where we do that's using on drag end. So on drag end, we definitely want two things, right? Two things. Arrow to return original position, and we want to do what we did with the rectangles, where we actually add that new arrow or new rectangle to the state, and so that we can render it later and make a new Canva object with those attributes. Anyways, so arrow to return to position and store to state. Let's do the first one. First one we already know. So we need to be able to grab this arrow and then say dot position, whatever. So to do that, we gotta give this a ref, right? Draggable arrow. So now we can get reference to it by doing let's arrow equals to this dot refs dot draggable arrow. And then by the way, I don't think this is the most appropriate method. I think what people do is do react dot create ref and then do this, so that there might not be issues with refs being not instantiated before accessing it or something like that. I'm not sure, but just to let you know, this is not the most correct method of doing this, but it works. It works, right? Like, this is definitely defined before this. Like, this is triggered first thing when we render it, so this is going to be defined. Anyways, arrow dot position x0 y0, and then we do this arrow dot get stage draw, right? Because we need to draw it. And then hopefully this works. Yeah, snaps back. So you might get confused sometimes because arrows has two ways of determining its position. Of course, the points it gets to determine its layout. I mean, its positioning. Yeah, and the X and Y can also determine its positioning. But when we drag stuff, it is changing its X and Y. It is not changing the arrow's points when we drag stuff. When we drag it. So to return it to the original position, we just do X 0 and then Y 0, right? Makes sense. But you could do new. You could make the new points. I guess this minus the X, this minus the Y, this minus the X. But yeah, really not necessary. And it's just kind of clean that you always have the position at 0, 0, in my opinion. Okay. Now, oh god, my neck. And then now we want to store to state. So the new arrow, what is going to look like? It is going to have all of the attributes that we want an arrow to be able to render. And so again, let's pull up. Actually, did I show this earlier? But read this. This is what we want, you know. So at drop, we want just an arrowhead. Let's do that. Therefore, what that means is the points is going to have the same x's and the same y, because it's just going to be an arrowhead. It's going to be a point right at the beginning. And where is this point? That point has to be relative to our mouse position, of course. So let's get access to the mouse position. Again, two ways to do this. You can either put in events right here and then do events.mousex or event.pagex, something like that. One of those will work. Or you can just do, of course, the Canva way, and that's just do var equals to arrow.getStage. Now we get access to the stage, and then do dot pointer get pointer position dot x, and then pointer y equals to arrow.getStage, right, get pointer position dot y, right. Beautify JS. So by the way, how I beautify that, just in case you're a beginner, you have to download a plugin called Beautify, and then you press Ctrl Alt F on Windows to make it work like that. Okay. So let me think about this. So yeah, the x and y can be 0 because the points will now determine where they are, because it is the mouse position and we don't want to change the x and y still. But anyways, I don't think I explained that like perfectly, but this is what we're gonna do. Pointer x, pointer y, pointer x, pointer y. Am I supposed to do this here? Yeah. And look at how it did the rectangles. Let me just copy some of this, because I'll be using stroke width and stroke too. Right, the 0.5, this is black. And then, is there anything that we want that later can display? Maybe we do need a name, right? We needed to get access to this arrow later. So arrow plus this dot state dot arrows dot length. And then what else? Stroke, we got it. Oh, we need a fill of black. So stroke and fill for an arrow, the filling is the arrowhead's color, and the stroke is the arrow body's color. So now I think I got everything. So let's append it to the state. So how are we gonna do this? Oh man, I swear. I'm just gonna look at what I did earlier, because I always forget the syntax. Just copy and paste at this point. So yeah, pref state, get access to the pref state, and then we want to append to the pref state. Yeah, do not just do this dot state dots arrows dot push whatever, and then do this dot force update. It can work, but it's kind of confusing sometimes. Sometimes it skips like component did updates, which maybe you want to skip, but it's better to just put a boolean in component did update to determine whether or not you want to skip something. Anyways, hopefully now when I drop it, it's gonna just have a new point, right? That's what we wanted. So drag, yep, we got a point right there. So now, supposedly when we drag this thing, it is gonna follow, the arrowhead is gonna follow. So how do we do that? I actually gotta think about it too. Okay, so on drag end, this is we're done with this thing. We're done with the toolbar, right? And then we actually also, okay, so let's do this problem design. But first of all, we need to be able to sense whenever we're moving over the mouse, and the JavaScript event function for it is on mouse shoot. I think it's on mouse move. At first I did on mouse over, and it's a little bit weird. I think you have to, on mouse over is a little bit weird. Anyways, on mouse move, arrow updates position. Let me see what else. Yes, of the head actually. So when we drop it, when we drag it, there's supposed to be a point that stays here, right? And then we drag around the head. So 2 points actually is the same throughout the thing. 2 points stay put. 2 points are updated. And those 2 points that are updated are probably according to the mouse position. Now let me see now. So okay, so this is what we're gonna do. So again, left pointer X. Let me just copy that. Right, and then we need to set state again. Set state, but a little bit different because this setting state is not how we usually do it. We're not setting. So we have this dot state dot arrows, and then we're not setting an object of this dot state dot arrows. We're setting an attribute of an object of this dot state dot arrows, and the attribute being, of course, is the point. So arrows, and then we gotta do pref state dot map each arrow. So what are we gonna do with each arrow? So if each arrow dot name equals to, okay, so we do need to create a name for the arrow being dragged. The current arrow. So how do we get? So of course we're mapping each of the arrows to know which one we're modifying, right? Because or else we'd just be modifying every single arrow. So we need a way to check the arrow against what is the one being dragged, and we can do that here. At the end of on drag end of the toolbar arrow, we can do current arrow dragged, and then we can do arrow plus this dot state dot arrows dot length, because that's the name. And and then at first the current arrow drag should be print just that. So if that equals to this dot, or pref state actually, dot current arrow dragged, then we're gonna do something, and we're gonna do else. We're just gonna return the each arrow, right? By the way, if you've never seen this before, this is an inline if else. Basically, this is the condition. If this condition is true, we're gonna trigger the first, whatever is in the first bracket. If else that is not true, we're gonna trigger what's in the second one. So in this case, we're we're setting a new arrow state, and we're mapping all the arrows to be able to check which one it is that we're dragging right now, because that's when we want to modify. If that is true, we want to probably set the points here. If that's not true, we just want to return what the arrow was. So how do we set the points? First of all, we gotta return each of the attributes as normal, and then the points is gonna be different. The spread operator will iterate through the attributes that we want to return as normal, but the points is gonna be different, and it's gonna be, just put something here just to make sure this compiles. I mean, this syntax works. I did something wrong probably. It's not allowing me to save. This can't be equals. If it's equals, it's weird. Syntax is wrong. Not sure what happened. I thought it's like this. Let me look through my own project how I do it. Ah, it's right here. Each arrow and then a new state. So I don't see the difference, to be honest. Did I do something wrong here? Pref state dots. Okay, definitely missing the arrows, but that shouldn't break or make the syntax error. Yeah, I have this exactly as what it is. Points. Maybe this array is throwing people off. We'll just do one. Still doesn't save. Okay, why is there an extra bracket right here? Okay, that saves. Not sure what happened. Okay, so let's think about the points thing. First of all, it's error is not defined. Oh, we can't do get stage like that. We gotta do this dot refs dot stage, because this is the ref. This dot refs dot stage. Okay. So now when we drop it, right, we have a point, and then where's the point? Where the heck is the point? I think it's triggering stuff here, because the second that I dropped it, it triggered an all mouse move, and then right here the points is set to this, and there's probably some weird function that's going on. So let's just do delete it for now, so that it sets it as the same thing, right? So at drop, we basically have a point, and then on drag we want to change the points, but we're not changing all 4 of the points, only changing 2, because 2 of the points will stay put again, right? Put it right here. So first 2 are not being changed. And we can just do, I guess, each arrow dot points 0 as it was, dot points 1 as it was, and then new stuff right here. So the new stuff are there for pointer x and pointer y, and supposedly this will just work. Okay, yeah, it works. But if I click it, it's not going to stop anything. It's going to keep doing it. So we got to implement a way of somehow stopping this moving. But first of all, how is it moving? It's moving because the each arrow.name equals to the pref state.current arrow drag. So all we got to do is we got to implement an onClick function for the stage. I like to do a lot of my functions inline, by the way, just like this. But for some bigger functions, not doing this is the correct practice. Wait a second, I think I did something wrong. Yep. Okay, this dot set state, actually it's if current arrow drag, what if I just do this dot set state, current arrow dragged being this. It shouldn't break anything, but I was thinking, yeah, so that works. I was thinking if I should do if current arrow dragged is not nothing, then we set it to nothing. But let me see if this, let me think about if this breaks anything. So whenever we click in the stage, we set the arrow drag to, I mean, that is true, right? Because if we're dragging an arrow and we click, we probably want to stop. But if we're just doing other normal tasks like doing this and clicking this, there is no arrow being dragged at all anyways. So yeah, that works. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for finishing through. Now we got an arrow, and in the next video, I suppose, as I promised, to talk about the combo transformers. So we will have fun with that. See you guys next time.